Hey, how you guys doing? Yeah. Alright, I'm just getting the stream set up. Everything looks good. Double check the chat. Chat's working. Alright. We are going to be patching up the version 5 multiple floor elevator if it's possible. I've already messed around with it and it's not as simple as it may sound, and it's because I actually have a lot of timings that are unnecessary on it. But I'll tell you, to figure out which ones they are would require me to just rebuild it. So if I were just looking for a simple patch for people, if we're just looking for a simple patch, so I do want to say that I got some requests to build Fallout Vault Door for the Pocket Edition, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that it's the Pocket Edition. They're eventually going to have to add in block updates. If they don't, I mean, nobody's ever going to want to build anything on it, and I mean, I'm not going to. And what I mean by this, not that I'd ever not build anything, but if it's something that, for instance, a triple piston extender that's seamless, you cannot make one of those seamless. Um, that's well, that for a door's purposes. Like you can't stack three of them on top of each other because you have to power three blocks at once, which would require me using three pistons with three redstone blocks. It's just crazy. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's not anything I want to do. Okay, so this is the wrong world, but so we used I used World Edit to copy these so I could paste them in different orientations and test them. And so yeah, I wanted to show you guys this world. It's basically my multiple floor void world. It has all of the elevators that I've built. Well, it's missing version 3. Um, yeah, actually, I think it does have version 3. Is this version 3? Yeah, this is version 3, and it actually is probably, if you were going to make an elevator, this is probably the one you'd want to make. And what I could go ahead and just tell you guys is that this elevator, if you were to add on, if you were to add on the yellow circuit to it, it will work as is. You guys can see that I'm using this monostable here. Or sorry, it's a T flip flop. It's a specific type that doesn't kick the item out. It's more expensive, but yeah, the one I've been using is this much smaller version, which is the one we're going to try and use on this. Now, this is a ripped apart, stripped down version of the version 5, so I got rid of all the walls so we could take a look at the redstone and really look at what's gone wrong with it. Um, Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is not, um, like right now, this stuff right here, like this, does not work on Xbox One or let's say Bedrock Edition. It doesn't work on any of those. So we have to get rid of some circuitry. But as far as the wiring goes, I kind of want to keep it the same. Um, so this is right off of the tutorial version, which means I actually went down one block extra, and I didn't need to. So this is the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and patch. Um, we do not need this here. It does not work, but it does work on the PC version. So to check this elevator really quick, it works on the PC, but it does not work on Bedrock and all that edition. So first thing I want to do is check to see if it does work. So let's just stop. Let's stop at this floor here. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to check the right. I think this might be the one that's on slow speed. And it also has the piston, I think, on the wrong side. Yeah. Yeah, so this one's on super, super slow, which is not necessary. And you can see that it did not stop on the floor we wanted. So at certain heights you either need redstone here or not on PC. But I have set it. So something else. So you can see that this actually does work now that I added the redstone to it. Let's go ahead and check this one to see if it works too. Yeah, it does not work, so we need redstone there. So this was actually, this red circuit was actually the patch for when this happened, but they completely removed block updates off of Xbox 360 and all that, so none of this is going to work. They also made it so pistons are automatically attached to redstone, which pretty much means you can't make anything tileable unless you go way out of your way. And so that kind of really screws up things. So, but I know the basics to it. And so what I'm going to go ahead and say is if we swap this out here, if we swap this thing out and this thing, sorry, not that. If we swap out the magenta circuit, and this, if we just basically change it to a T flip-flop, which is, I mean, if you really want to know, it's why I made this like this. Because if you really think about it, there's no reason for me to go underneath here with a torch. I could just run repeaters here and you'd get the same effect. It does not need to be like this. So the reason for sticking it up higher was to make room for this. So all we need to do is change these out for T flip-flops. So it should be relatively easy, but I'm going to go ahead and say to keep it, I'll say user friendly. I'm going to try not to change any of the circuitry so that if you actually do have this elevator, you should be able to do something with it. So if you've built this before and you still have it, we're basically going to work on patching it. So something else we're going to get rid of too is I actually am going to redesign this circuit here. So basically only the people watching my live stream are going to actually know how to patch this. Seriously, because we're going to basically do that. Now I might make a video afterwards and say version 5 patch and then link it in the actual video, but I'm going to go ahead and say there's no reason to. So first things first, we do not need any of this on the top. I only kept it that way because I was planning on extending it higher. So we don't need any of this stuff. You know, not all the way up here. We only need it here. Alright? We only need it here. And we do not need, we do not need this block at all. So I don't know what did it, but something changed in this game to where I used to have this piston here to make it so when it goes on and off, that it wouldn't lift this piston up and down and you wouldn't hear it. But I'm going to go ahead and say that it's not worth having a piston and having that circuit there. So we could completely get rid of this piston and these circuits. So that's basically a patch right there. Something else we do not really need is this block here, but we're going to go ahead and steal power off of it, and we're going to directly hook up the door guard system so that we no longer are depending upon it toggling blocks, because this does not work on the PS4, and I'll show you PS4, Xbox One, any of those. So if you send, this is basically a monostable switch. And so what happens is when you stick power through this, it lifts up and it basically generates a one-tick monostable, which throws the block off. Now, the way that it performs now, this is how it performs on the Xbox and all those. It does not do a one-tick. It will not throw a block off. They got rid of that. Also, you cannot update 2 pistons at a time. Like, you will not get that. Not anymore. They took it out. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep it that way or if they're going to change it. I will say that the way it is right now, it is I'll say that it is a redstone nightmare, and I'm going to try and avoid, you know, repeating the mistakes of the past, which is building on a non-perfected version. So if they were to take redstone updates out of this, it would break almost every single device that I have, which is why my newer designs do not use 1-tick pulse generators. So I'm kind of preparing for that. Feel free to comment if you guys are watching the stream. I want to go ahead and check something real quick while we're sitting here. Talk about the earthquakes, which did affect me. It's not like it knocked anything off the walls, but it definitely affected some things. Like I definitely felt it where I live. Okay, so version 5 elevator patch. So, something to try and figure out is why does this get block updated? And so we're going to go ahead and figure that out right now. Hey, what's up there? I am Scatman43. Yo, he says. Alright, so this is something that's bugged me for quite a long time. And I mean, I think I know why. And I think I know how we can fix it relatively easy. But whenever you run a redstone signal over the top of something like this, it somehow will want to update the piston. So who knows why it does it? I've noticed that it stopped doing it. But if you were to do this, for instance, you will get that updating. It's very weird. Let's try it again like this. See if we can recreate it. Yeah, maybe yeah, I think it's fixed now. I mean, I really do. I don't think that it actually still buds. Maybe maybe it has to do with where the repeater is. So if we put a repeater here and we run redstone here. Now I'm going to go ahead and try a 10 tick and see if that actually makes a difference, because this elevator was designed with a 10 tick button, and it cannot use a wooden button. Hit slabs. No, I'm not saying I don't want to update it. We actually do want this piston. When we do the instant extension, we want this piston to touch this. But we shouldn't need it anymore. I'm going to go ahead and say we can get rid of it on the circuit. We don't need it at all. I was actually curious to why it was even updating to begin with. Because this was actually designed originally because I had a non-sticky piston that would push down on this block. And what it would do is when the elevator was on its way down, these pistons would go up and down. What's up there, Sash McFlash? Yeah, what it would do is it would just basically cause this piston to go up and down, up and down. And so, so having a 4-tick delay on here, which it's already built in, all the timings on here are absolutely necessary. But as we mess with things and get rid of specific circuits, like I'm getting rid of this, we just got rid of the red circuit. All of this has got to go. We got to replace it with a T flip-flop. Same with this if we want it to work on the Xbox. Which does bring me to the fact that all of my elevator designs right now that use a monostable circuit, monostable switch, are going to require a T flip-flop, which I'm going to say that you have your choice here. There's this one, which is actually not a bad one, because this one I'm getting ready to build is more reliable, but it's more expensive and it is bigger. So this one right here is actually, I'll say preferred, but it's awfully big. You know, that's the biggest problem. It's a little big, and it does require, you know, some stuff. There's a couple things you could do with it, but so let's go ahead and check it out. So that's not a comparator. So when we hit it, it basically sends the redstone from here, goes up, and then spits it into the hopper, and then drops it. And then when we hit it again, it just basically comes right back. So it's basically a T flip-flop. Now there's a much smaller one, but you can lose items out of it, which is unfortunate. So you have to put a block here like this at certain levels. Seriously. But this is pretty much it. It's a super teeny small, and you know, you power it basically from the upper hopper, and what it does is it kicks the item out, and it just drops right into the hopper, and you know, it basically back powers itself, so you can kind of see that it comes up here and then it just spits it back down. So it does everything of this but in a much smaller space. Now sometimes if you get rid of this block, it will kick the item and it will literally get thrown off of it and out somewhere. So right now, I mean, this seems to be the proper orientation, but you guys can see that randomly generated, it actually goes up really high. And if you look, it should actually not be going inside. So this is what we're going to replace everything with. One of these two designs. Because we cannot have this here. We cannot have that there. So this is going to take some time. This is probably going to be more than a couple episodes. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do too is that although I do enjoy the 3-high entryway, it does cause more problems now than it did back in the day, which says to me that people do not like having, you know, a 3-high entryway. I think I'm the only person that's ever liked it. Everybody else always adds the blocks in. So I think by majority, I should probably go and, you know, give the people what they want. So we're going to basically make this a 2-high entryway. We're going to get rid of these. So the best floor for us to start on, we've already gotten rid of a bunch of circuitry that we don't need. Now I want to just test it. And what I mean by testing is, like, this floor is down, and you can see we have there's 3 one-tick monostables just where I can see, but there's actually 4 in total. So what we got going on here is a super slow circuit. And I'm going to say we can go ahead and speed this up. So this was back when the Xbox 360 was actually broken, when it came to this elevator. So I'm going to put it back to its, I'll say factory condition here. That one's already on it. And that one is too. So be kind of a pain, and then this needs to be on 2 ticks. It's not really I never did a tutorial with it like this, so just ignore it. I think I just wanted to show people that you could slow this thing down to an incredibly slow speed so that it would work on pretty much any server. And this elevator is actually designed more to be like a realistic elevator, at least to the best of my ability. You know, I am trying to be kind of, I'll say, resource friendly, but it's not really going to help with something like this. You'd have to have infinite resources. Like you'd have to have like an iron, I'd say like an iron golem farm, something like that. Okay, so we got this on the right speed now. And also something that's going to change is this green circuit. It no longer needs to be 4 ticks on this side. We can lose 2 ticks, but it's going to change where this circuit needs to be. Right now it's so slow that we can just get the power, you know, just a couple blocks above this white one. So it's really, like I said, it's really going to change the timings on this. So I really don't want to change any of the timings. So you know, I just want to do a patch for this elevator. I don't want to go and remake it, which is what it's starting to look like. Okay, so the elevator is up. We're going to go ahead and send it up. It's actually at a higher speed now. Let's go ahead and reset this floor and send it down. I really don't like the animation on it, but this is the old styled version. It's not like the newer one I have over there. So yeah. So now it's at a higher speed. Now we need to basically check, does it work on the way down? Okay, so we call it up to us. We get an instant extension. I am using a mod, so it's why we're getting so much frame rate drop. So So yeah, so let's go to floor, is that floor 3? So we hit this, it turns this torch out and then sends the signal down, which retracts this piston, which then turns on this torch, which then tells the block to be thrown down in here using a 1-tick generator, which we can no longer use if we want it to work on the Xbox. So, first things first is, will it stop on that floor as is? It seems nice. It seems like a decent. So I really want to try and keep the timings the same. So the question here is, if I was to put this on the new, because back in the day you could not travel down a circuit that was, it had to be on 6 ticks of delay. So that's why this was on 4. So I'm going to drop it and we're going to see what happens when we do this. We're going to put everything on 2 ticks. Like this is 1 tick, that's 1 tick, which, you know, is equals to 2 ticks. And then, so now we're going to do that. So we're minusing, you know, 2 ticks off of this circuit. Yeah, so no ticks on that. And then 2 ticks. And then this should be it. There we go. Alright. So that's that. So a long time ago I made this elevator 1 block lower just to make sure that we had enough time. So this is not going to work on consoles. So since I'm down here and we've just changed the green circuit timing, we should go ahead and just get rid of this. What we actually want here is we would want to have basically a block going into this. And I would say we could probably make this one less wide. Yeah, so like this. We could use this one here. Now, so since I made this the way I made it a long time ago, this is going to have to be like that. So that's going to add on a tick of delay. And so now it also needs to be powered from here and not there. So now we need to get this yellow circuit to power this on the off position. So that can actually be kind of difficult, but because we're up so damn high, I mean floor level is, actually I should say we're down low. This is floor level right here. So we actually have a lot of I'll say finagle room. I could actually drop this down if I really wanted to. What's up there, Lonnie? So yeah. So we just need to basically get the power from this yellow circuit to go right there. So right here. We also need to get power from the green circuit. Yeah, we also need to get power from this green circuit to this line here. Now back in the day I would just use this area right here. So something like that I would do. And you guys can see that a lot of this stuff is over engineered, but this is the original version 5 elevator. So my first multiple floor design, I'll just say when you guys look back on your life and you cringe, this is one of those things where I cringe and go, I can do so much better now. But I do know a lot of people have built it. So first thing we need to do is just swap this out for a T flip-flop. Any T flip-flop will do. Yeah. But I'd say that this one, or the one I showed you in the beginning of the stream, is probably the best to use. So this is basically going to get powered now from the green circuit, telling it to get shut off. And also, we just need to basically get, this to power here. So like that. One of the biggest issues we're going to run into is that we need top slabs here to make sure it doesn't get powered. But as you guys can see, we're gonna have to have solid block here if we want it to go down. Now I could make it go one block away like this, and we could use the half slab, you know, have it come down and then put another repeater here. Don't really like the way it looks, but I mean it will work. It is at floor height, which I don't like. So I'm actually thinking about sending this power from the yellow circuit, just sending it and getting it directly from the outside and sending it to right here. I mean, we've already moved this in by one, and all of this stuff is all kind of, I think, hokey and unnecessary, in my opinion, when you could just basically have it go right in. So we could have the power come, let's say, off of off here and come around and shut this off. So yeah, it will work more efficiently since this thing's already below the ground. This could all be covered up, so it would theoretically make just the bottom bigger, but it will work a lot more, you know, just more efficient. Because we cannot send the yellow circuit through here, and it is not wise to try and send it up above any T flip-flop that uses droppers, because it will trigger it. So that's that right there. Okay, so this should now work, but I'm gonna say that I think the green circuit is gonna fail. So so we shut this off before. So to kind of tell you guys, if you guys watched the elevator, it you know, went all the way up and then went all the way back down. Now if we were to keep this circuit here, this piston, if we kept the piston there, it would not be able to do what we just seen. So yeah, I'll show you. So if that piston, that's why I left it there, but I'm gonna say that, does it really matter if it's not correct? The elevator just passes the floor. So that's why we're going to get rid of all these monostables. So once we do that, we will no longer need the piston I just added in. So I'll just kind of show you what I mean. Yeah. So you guys can see that something's foul, right? It's like a clock. It's basically clocking itself. So what caused it to clock? Right now, when you hit the button, it should do an instant extension. Come up, and then that should send it in here. And then this should, yeah, it's actually laggy because I'm using, I'm actually using a mod. So yeah. Oh, is it you that's lagging? It's not you. It's not you. It's actually this mod I'm using. It's making the frame rate really bad. I mean, considering what we're doing here, I should probably not use the mod. Let me actually do that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and just log off and log back in. I mean, I'm going to keep streaming, but I'm just going to go ahead and save and quit. And I'm going to run it without the mod so I can get a full 60 frames. Okay, so let's see here. So I just need to not use the forge, and I'm basically using world edit, if you guys know what that is, so that I can copy huge circuits and just paste them somewhere else. I might re-sign in as it and use it again, but I'm just re-signing in. Don't want you guys seeing my passwords and stuff. So alright, so we're back now and we're on the normal. So the frame rate's just gonna should just disappear. Honestly, should just disappear. So here's the first problem that we're having. Now that I've taken and this isn't on 6 ticks of delay anymore, the elevator's coming down so fast that we actually need to get the power from a higher location to turn this off. We also need to do the same when it comes to this, which does kind of say that we should make this circuit, we should take away at least one block off of it. But like I said, I don't want to make this patch and have to remove all of the circuitry. So let's just see if we can time it better so that it actually works. So what's actually happening right now when we extend it is that it's either getting two signals down at once. So when I send this down, it's basically going to do some weird stuff. There you go. What's actually happening is when I hit the down button, it's going down so fast that it's actually giving us those pulses. Yeah, because it's actually beating all the timings we have in here. So when I hit the button, it sends the signal down, and then too late, this adds in this block or withdraws the block, causing the elevator to go down, and then this is being caught in the process. So at least that's what I believe is going on. So setting the floor and then resetting the floor. So let's try it here. So we call it up to us. Now I'm going to say that this is probably the best place for me to test this from, is like from this spot. So I need to see what's going on here. Okay, so alright, so the floor is down. Yeah, okay, so it did work. So now we're going to go ahead and send it down. You guys can clearly see that now that the timings are different, the power went straight through, and so now we're getting an instant extension at the same time as the down, which means we have too much delay on this stuff. Like, this is too much delay. This is too much delay right here. And I'm going to go ahead and say, since we're here, we can go ahead and just get rid of this altogether. There's no reason to have it. We do need to sever that connection. I kind of already knew about this because I did spend some time messing with it. So in all reality, this is all that we should need. This should actually patch it, and we should get it should send the time through here, and it should adjust this monostable circuit, which we're going to have to get rid of. It doesn't really matter right now. We can just leave it as is. We just want to see what's happening with this circuit, because I don't think we need any of these timings anymore now that it's not the pre 1.5 update. I did these back then when pistons were a lot faster. So now our floor is set incorrectly. So what we need to actually do is we need to basically just reset the floor. Which that didn't actually work. Let me do this again. Okay, so resetting the floor would require... the easiest way would be to just put this back. This is another reason why we need to get rid of all of these one-tick monostables. Because one misplaced button, one time it doesn't fire, and you end up having the floors wrong, which it should never be like that. We can do this and make it automatic. There's no reason to have that. Okay, so sending down. So the circuit, when we hit the down button, it still managed to let the power go through here. I actually don't know why. Yeah, it managed to let the power go through there. So we hit the down circuit and the power traveled that way. And then 1, 2, 3 ticks later, 4 ticks later, the monostable engaged or disengaged, which is right when the elevator went down. So what's actually happening is this is beating it. So this is why I actually added a bunch of delay to it originally. Was I added the delay so that when you hit the button, this has enough time to, to basically, so this can beat it. So what we actually need to do is basically take the time off of this, and we can leave this all alone. This is what I'll say a mistake I made a long time ago, by timing it wrong. It still works, but we based timings off of something that was never going to work. So what I mean is in the future it wouldn't work. Yeah, so we got the circuit still did an instant extension. We removed all that stuff. Now we're going to go ahead and say we don't need this times anymore. We no longer need those timings. And we can make this as fast as we want now, because we don't need any of them. So technically, I don't need this here, but it would get powered by that repeater, so we do need it there. But I could do an inversion, and we could use a redstone torch, which would definitely make it a little faster. But let's just keep it as is for right now. Okay, so basically what's happening is when we hit this piston goes down before any of this disengages, and it allows the green circuit to get power through, because that block is supposed to drop. When we hit this button, this drops down really fast, and so it should drop down faster than the circuit, but we need to test it. So we hit the down button. You guys can see I don't think it sounds like it still got through. Let's try it again. Okay, so we're gonna call it up. Wait a minute, how did that work? How did that even power? It looks like I've just powered that. I powered the upper floor. That's funny. It's in the wrong location. So, yeah, we would actually need to power here. Or even there would work. Okay, so it is in the upper position. Although it should not be. Yeah, it should not be. Yeah, we need to get rid of that. We do. Yeah, so it's doing it again. So I'm gonna go ahead and say we can blame this on this circuit. So let's go ahead and remove it. So we now have this, and we don't need that. So I'm going to go ahead and say that one of the best ways to do this, we need to get power from here, but we also want it to be relatively small. We actually would like to get a block here and power this, but we can kind of just get rid of all of it and just power this block. That's all we need to do. We just need to power that block. So something as simple as this with the monostable here would work. We could also do this to kind of stick it down lower, because the monostable we're using, is pretty small. This is pretty small. So something like that with the like that. So as is right now, if we did it, the signal strength wouldn't work unless we used a sword or something. So I'm actually thinking of moving this over here, but I think I'd like to keep it. So let's go ahead and just let's just power this and use a sword, so it gets at least 2 signal strength when we use it. So let's go ahead and test this to see if it works. Okay, so we get 2 signal strength now because it's using a sword, which gives us a higher signal strength, which does the signal cutoff much faster than the monostable. All right. The problem that I'm seeing right now is that if we do this, that sword is possible to kick out. So we should do it like this for sure. It's just, it also looks a little cleaner. I don't know what you guys think. Okay. Not laggy, bad. There we go. Okay, so that seems pretty decent. So what we got going on here is almost, I'll say, completely unnecessary. Seriously, we don't need all this stuff. We really don't. Like something that, I mean, you guys probably can see is that when the power comes down and this block is here, it's gonna power down through here, right? So right now we're using the purple circuit. So this, the torch powers this, which then powers that, which then powers this. But it does nothing. It does zero. Nothing. Right? And why would it? So this doesn't need to be here neither. It did do something at a point. It basically extends this piston. But we already get that when this torch comes on. So it's something that got obsolete a little bit ago, honestly. Not a long time ago, but it was made obsolete in the 1.5 update. So we're just going to leave that as is for right now. So we could eliminate that. Yeah, all that circuit did was basically cause this to come down here and fire this, causing it to, when it reset, was basically send a signal back through and then power this piston to go down here and touch this thing, which we actually would not want to have happen. Not now, but back in the day we would. The idea was to get this thing powered, but we can get all of our power from one location, which is something I've learned from, let's say, years of different elevator designs. So we can do a lot more with just one signal. We just got to get the timing correct. So right now the floor is incorrect, and so is this. So I'm just going to reset it, and we're going to get rid of this next. So sending it down does not work. Yeah. So the timing that we're getting when we send this down is, it's so incorrect it's not even funny. Like I said, it to me, I'm redesigning this thing, and that's not what we want to do. We want to kind of keep it as original as possible, but I don't see any way around it if we want to have this elevator. If we want to have this elevator the way that it is. Yeah, there's a lot of things we could do to make this easier. So something I'm going to do right now is we're just going to go ahead and get rid of this. And it does look like this is going to turn into a redesign, not a patch. So we do want to keep that there. We do. We do want to keep this there. And we do want our power, you know, to come to here. But I mean, we could just get it off of here, right? I mean, so, or even here, like the power could go here, right? So it's going to power through here when we hit the reset button, and then it's going to send its power to here. So we could do a lot of different things. We could do this as well, have the power getting powered, and get our power directly into this line. Which kind of says, why are we inverting this now? We don't need the inverted torch since we've moved our input. So yeah, it does look to me like the only way to fix this is to redesign it. Honestly, is to just redesign the whole thing. So which does bring me to this. If we're gonna have to redesign this thing, I mean, why not just use the newer circuit? It's smaller. It's more compact. I would say that the only way to patch that would be, I would say, this is actually the smaller, and it's, you know, everything about it's smaller. And it's a hell of a lot better, as you guys can see. It is 20 times better than the elevator. It has more features, and it has full doors. So yeah, why do the other elevator is the question. um, Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the patch on this elevator, the version 5 elevator, looking at all that we need to get rid of to get it to work properly. The only other choice that we would have to keep this elevator as is without changing any timings, since we do have another floor we can experiment on, and I do have this schematic for this, so I can literally just copy it back over. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say that one of the ways we could basically help this or make it stay the same would be to just make it wider and replace it, and we'll just keep everything the way that it is. We do want to send power into this block, so in order to do that we would need a we would need to, I would say that we're gonna have to have a repeater there, and I don't think we could send power back into the block. I mean, it is possible. The easiest way would be to basically set this on top. But when we power this right here, it's gonna trigger. So we might want to do it like this then. Is it possible to have it like that? Yeah, but then it's gonna power here. Then we would need to put a piston on top of this. Yeah, I would say that if we did this, we'd be better off redesigning it. I'm going to do something terrible real quick. I mean, it's just absolutely it's just bad. And so let's just do this. So let's have a repeater come out here. Do this. And we'll get the power off of this, and we'll send it to a sticky piston. And I'll go ahead and grab a sticky piston, and we'll basically just put it right there. And we just need to get the power to it. So no sword is going to help us here. We'll have to use a repeater. You can see though that this is going to add on a lot of time on here. A lot of time. I think too much time. Yeah, that's 3 ticks that we get from that. I'm actually thinking that we might actually want to use an axe or sword or something here, and get rid of this and just leave it redstone. So I wanted to see if we could just kind of leave it as is. I'll see if we can replace this here in a second and leave it how it is, but I think that this is not going to work. Yeah. It's too much delay, so it breaks the circuit. So, yeah. So, I mean, everything's dependent on my version 5. I'd say it will not work on Xbox. Yeah, it will not work on Xbox anymore without a complete redesign, which then just makes me go, why not just use the new elevator? So, I would say that if people if people were to like the video the way it was, I could give a map download, and there is a conversion tool where you can convert it to your Xbox One. And you could use this one over here instead. It does not power any pistons. No redstone touches any pistons on the design. And it uses nothing but dropper T flip-flops. So it's all good. Let me see here. Okay, so all right. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that this is not worth fixing for console. Nobody has requested a fix for it. Nobody has said I built this and it doesn't work. It's too complicated for anybody to build, in my opinion. It does work on the PC, though, I will say. So I'm going to remove, I'm going to basically say, no longer works on the video for the Xbox version of the tutorial. And I will also change it to either PC only. So there's no reason to have that. So let me just do something real quick. I'm going to sign out again, and I'm going to go ahead and use the this mod so we can basically replace this with the old version. I'll just delete it and we'll replace it. At least it's not lagging bad anymore, huh? Alright, so now we have world edit. Okay, so now we need our wand. So I'm going to go ahead and say we are going to go ahead and delete this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and go like that. Actually, I need to do something real quick. So we right click on the bottom there, and then we left click on this. Left click, and then we hit // set 0, and it disappears. Well, some of it. Well, almost all of it. This is why I'm using world edit, so I don't have to dig up all this crap. Okay, so let's place another one. Okay, so /schematics. So I've already copied this. So schematics load, and I just need the name. So version dot 54 // and then paste. There we go. Okay, so we got the original version as is, no changes. It's the one that I made back in 2012. Okay, it should work. I mean, honestly, it should work. There's no changes to it really. Let's see here. The only thing that you need to check is, does it need redstone here or not? Which I think we can check right now. Yes, we do. Wow, it's really laggy with this thing on. Sorry about that, you guys. It's the mod. Okay, so it definitely works. See if it needs it here. There we go. It does need it now. Okay, so just to give it a little test with lag, I'm going to go ahead and turn the speed up on it, but we're going to leave the green circuit as is because all the timings, it's all based on having, the 1.5 and later timing. So we kind of have to leave that green circuit delayed like that. So it does work on the PC, so it does work exactly like I intended it originally. It can be slowed down. So if we went from doing a patch to, I'll say, basically retiring a design, because there's no reason to fix this elevator if it requires a redesign. I've already made the version 9, so yeah, you can convert all of this stuff to you can convert it. Like I could basically do a world download and you guys could, convert this to PC, version, or you can convert it directly to the Xbox version using a tool, which I went and found one. I did notice that when you transfer redstone though, that all of the repeaters will be facing, I think it's east. So, so yeah. Okay, so this should be on its highest speed, which means it should actually work. So it is laggy though. So the top floor was activated. Go ahead and get in here. Yeah, originally the bottom floor was 11 floors. Oh, that's right. So I forgot that I deleted this block so it wouldn't accidentally fire off when I loaded it. Okay, so let's try this again. Yeah, technically this entire elevator is one block. It should be up at this block now. All my new designs, I got rid of it. I don't know why I ever decided to do 11 blocks on the bottom floor. Lagging. Okay, so next thing, and this is something that happened during the... Which update was it? I don't actually remember what update it was, but... Yeah, so we don't need this time anymore here, obviously. It does not need to be on 2 ticks. All reality, it actually needs to be on no delay. Absolutely 0 to lift you, otherwise you will get stuck. So if you made this on PC, there's a lot of little timing changes that needed to have happen. It's actually because they changed the piston speeds. Okay, so you get in here, you get on the left side, and then we hit... Oh yeah, that's right. We hit this. Yeah, it's funny how something so little can make that much of a difference. So let's make stops on both floors on the way down. So we're going down to this floor, and then we're going to go down to the next floor. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and go down to the bottom floor. Then we're going to stop at this floor and this floor, and on the top floor. Woo, the lag. Yeah. It's not because of the design, I guarantee you. It's because of this mod. I even bring my my stuff up to like 100 FPS. I can actually bring it up to more. Let's see if it helps if I bring it up to... So right now we have VSync off. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to 140. I don't think it's going to make a difference. All it does is make the screen tear. You know? So we're at like 150. So hopefully the lag isn't that bad. So we're going to go ahead and go on up to the top floor up there. Well, actually this floor. Right? Then we're going to go up to the next floor. And the next floor. There we go. Send it back down. Still laggy. I don't think there's anything you can do about it, honestly. I don't think that there's anything that can be done about that lag. It's this mod. If you know, it's loading too much. I could try lowering the resolution, all that stuff, but I'm going to say that I think keeping it at 80 will be fine. We're getting just as much lag with it than without it, so it's fine. Okay, done. Back to game. Okay, so one more test. So for the PC edition, this still works as is. It's a little slow if you ask me when you're going down, and there's no reason for it to be that slow. But whatever. Okay, so it came up to this floor. Let's go ahead and send it down. It does go down. I don't see any bad animation. Okay, so let's try this floor. Instant extension. So the only patch I could see for PC that you would have to do is change the repeater on the very bottom floor. And I would say that there is a much easier way to make those note blocks. Yeah, I just wanted to make noise on the way up and down. I didn't really care that whether it sounded like a real elevator, which I probably should have took note of. go. So something else we could do is we could actually, on the top floor, we could, as a patch, get rid of a lot of the stuff that we built in the tutorial, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I think we should just leave it as is. It's not perfect, honestly, but it was my first multiple floor design. So I'm going to go ahead and say that, I don't think that you could ask for more than that for my first design. All this stuff still works. Yeah, this is actually copied right off the map I did the tutorial from. It just doesn't work on console, and there's no reason to remake it on console. Yeah, to patch it would be to just rebuild it, because I know much better techniques, so I don't see a reason to. It's just, if people requested it, I could see, About the only thing I could do real quick is to check the actual tutorial video, which I actually am going to go check the tutorial video. Yeah, I'm going to check the tutorial video right quick. You guys will not be able to see it, but I'm just going to take a look at it and see if there's any... there hasn't been any comments on it for 4 years. So, yeah. Alright, so community... actually, so 2 spam, 2 withheld. Let's see. Midway, me making this in survival. Yeah, this isn't survival friendly. Built this in survival and on a server. Okay, hand. Okay. Just in case anyone's curious, it works in 1.14. Yeah, I already knew it worked in the 1.14. Okay, so no spam, none of that, no comments for that. Now I just need to go to the video. I would show you guys this, but kind of boring, I'd say. Let me go ahead and do this real quick so you guys can stare at something. Okay, so newest, most viewed video. So the version 6 elevator is actually got the most views on it. So at least people aren't making it anymore. Now, my showcase video is way higher than the tutorial video of my multiple floor elevator Xbox 360. So I'm going to the tutorial right now. It has 108,000 views, and it's got 786 likes, 55 dislikes. It's a 2-hour long tutorial. Yeah. I also made another video, it looks like, on September 20th, 2013, for the version 5 TU13 update, which did break everything, and it has just as many views. So I am actually going to go ahead and say that yeah, nobody's saying anything on it as far as the actual video itself. Comments. Yeah, nobody's asking for a repair. Nobody's saying it's even broken, which I would assume that nobody's even making it anymore. Let me see. I don't see anything on here. Let me go to the actual video.
Hey, how you guys doing?
The TU5 has made this elevator not orientational. I put that on there. Yeah, the last comment was, let's see, newest comment. Newest comment says, here is how to build with this video only. Do this on PC or Xbox. And that comment was a year ago. You do the following, what it does after the video. Do it, pause the video, and do it for the next step. Play the video. Yeah. That guy, he gets it. That's exactly how you do it. All right, yeah. Nobody's commented, so it's obvious that people know that this does not work. I did put uh, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4 tutorial CU update, which is what they used to be called, CU12, and the TU24. So that's as high as it worked, and then after that, no more working. Okay. So nobody's requesting a patch on this anyway. I thought if it was something easy, I could just change out some T flip flops, and that would be it. But that's not how it worked. It's obviously that it's obvious that I need to do something else with it. So all right. So that's that. Okay. So so yeah, the only patch this needs, which I don't think it's worth it, is just to have somebody. I would say just get rid of the repeater down here. That's all that you need. Just get rid of the repeater. And if you really wanted to, you could lift the floor up by one, and it would be much better. Yeah, it's 11 blocks on the bottom floor and then 10 after, and I don't know why I didn't change that a long time ago, but it's fine. It's fine. I do believe that I did change this one to the correct. Yeah, I did change this one to the correct version. Yeah, as you can see, this one is only at 2 blocks, which is all that you need, and it does have the new. This is the only thing that you need to change, I'd say. Because the T flip flop isn't really necessary. Or sorry, the monostable circuit, monostable switch is not necessary. Yeah, we're not going to test this. We're not going to touch it. We're going to just leave it. It is the original design that I slightly improved, but nobody ever asked for a tutorial for it anyway, so I never did it. And then, of course, we do have the new version 9 multiple floor elevator, which is so much better. Seriously, so much better. It's smaller. I mean, in comparison, if you look, it's 1 block smaller. It's 1 block smaller in width, and it's 1 block smaller in length compared to the old circuit. So yeah, and it works better than this one will ever work without this redesign. Okay, so I think we're good. I did want to go ahead and say that I haven't built this taller than 4 floors yet. I do think that it'll be fine regardless. The same stuff. It's different because this is about stopping the elevator from working. So I wonder if on PC version, or sorry, on Pocket Edition, if they're ever going to add in block updates. Because, I mean, the version 5 elevator is absolutely busted when it comes to console. So, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and say I think that we've done enough for today on this world. Yeah. So, save and quit. So for those of you that have made my elevators in the past, I wanted to go to version 5 elevator. This was the original, this was the patch I offered. I was like, hey, come fix my old elevator. Fix it, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys how to fix this elevator real quick. So, all that we need to do is get rid of these right here, and this. And we need to change this input here. Yeah, we need to change it. So all the power is going through there, and it needs to go into a new power plant, which would be the dropper flop. So I'd like to keep it here, but it looks to me like we would have to have it here, I think. So version 5 non-multiple floor elevator. How the hell did I get those? Don't remember what I was doing. Okay, so one problem we're going to have here, I can see already. One problem we will have is the signal strength is not strong enough to go down there, which would mean we would need to add a repeater here, and we would need to add, I think we would have to add, let's just leave it like it is for right now and see if we can figure something out. I could do a piston or something, but yeah, all this timing I have here seems unnecessary to me. Yeah, got a bunch of delay there. And then I did discover something the other day, which I hope doesn't stop working. So if you do want to patch this elevator, you can put a half slab here, and then you put a block there, and this should actually get powered from both sides, and we don't have to wrap around it with a repeater, but we're gonna have to see that real quick. So input block here. So now we're gonna power into it. Okay, let's go ahead and check it. We're not gonna get the safety rail to lift up, but version 5 working. Just requires a simple replacement. Let's see if instant extension works. Ooh, that didn't work. Okay, let's check that out. We know that this is all working because the signal went down, but it did not reset. It did not turn this on. So let's see here. So the power comes down through here and then powers this block. So we actually might need to power this differently. I think this might be orientational. But I will say that we could just power it, you know, we could just power it here if we really wanted to. Yeah, this is the version 5, so this circuit is moved forward so that we can fit our power plant right here. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, it did kick out. But it's not activating it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we're not getting an activation from this. I was just saying how this was working on a different map and it's not working on this one. Let's try it with an actual block and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, it's not turning it on. Alright, so we are going to need to move this over by 1, I think. Or maybe even I'm going to need to send a repeater into it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and say that something I could do would be to just change the position of this. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So the idea behind this is if we were to power this block instead, we're only going to get 1 signal strength off of it, but we could input it from this side easier from over here from the yellow circuit. So okay, so now we just need to get the signal strength to be more. So I wonder, could I do this actually? I can actually do this here. It might actually work. Don't technically need these here, but I could do this. I could do this right here. That's going to power that. We can't do that. Could do this though. Not the best looking, but I think it's okay. We should get decent, we should get everything working decent. Okay, let's check it. So the only thing that wasn't working was the monostable. Okay, so, or actually, sorry, it was the... Okay, that was really messy looking. So the power was sent down here, and it got... Oh, are we powering ourselves here? Ooh, we are. We can't get power from that. Wow, I don't know why I didn't notice that. We would actually need to get power from here. Okay, I need to redesign this too. I mean, there's all kinds of ways we could do this, but I'm going to say that one of the easiest, I think, one of the easiest ways would be to send the power in there. So the input would be, would have to travel through. Okay, so we can get power there. We can also do, we could do, so if we had a repeater there with the block, we could change the input to here. Then I could get rid of that and put 2 repeaters, and then how would we power that over there? Our safety rail. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say that we would need to get that power off of there. It needs to get powered from there. Okay, so is it possible to have a repeater here and then have the monostable circuit here? So we want to power... I would like to power that block is what I'd like to do. That would be the best place to have the monostable, like right there would be the best. But we already tried that. So we want to be able to send 2... So if I wanted to be able to send... I would have to have it here. I'd have to have it like there. Yeah, we would want to have the power here. I think it is possible to have the power there, because we could still power this block. And we can still power the block with a repeater, like this. So I can send the power through here, kind of like that. Send the power through there, and then this is going to get its power. And then we could use this circuit here to get power back into this relatively fast. Yeah, something like this would work, I think. It's not very pretty, but it does work, you know, how we want it to work. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that there. Okay, so so I think we could just replace that just like so. Let's see how that works. Do I have anything in here? Okay. Alright, so let's try instant extension. Nothing. Okay, so it did accept it, but it didn't fully extend it, which says that yeah, this is working. I mean, oh, there's why. It's not connected. How did I not see that? Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, so this should fix the version 5 elevator that is within its own footprint, which I got a lot of complaints about. So, alright, so here we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it on the way down. Now, I do know something, and that is I've always been using the wrong time. Well, I haven't always been using the wrong times, but this can now be on a smaller speed, so a faster speed. So, what the hell is this even doing here? Oh, it's to reset the floor. Okay. So we can now set this at 2 ticks, which is going to change this. It means that we may have to get the power from higher up on the circuit, or maybe even, honestly, I'm almost tempted to just have a piston come down with slime blocks and touch it there, but you would have to limit yourself to 12 blocks and then make a little thing, a spacer in between. So, okay, anyway, so the up, let's see how that works. Okay, a little bit of delay there. Let's go ahead and send it down. It should be much faster on the way down. It does work though. No timings need to be changed, so that's good. Let's go ahead and do an instant extension. Little bit of issue right there. Yeah, that's the patch right there. I will probably do a video on that. Yeah, I'll probably do a video on that. Version 5, yeah, it just needs this here now. Yeah, I could technically, I mean, honestly, I could put it here as well, and I think that might look a little better. Yeah, if it was here, that would actually be better. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it, but so this, none of this crap will be here, giving us a lot more room. We can go ahead and just, because I did hear it click, does mean that it's getting a block update. This should prevent it. All that's doing is going to shut the torch off when we need it to. So now it would be more about getting the power off of this like that. So we would basically be send the power out. It's going to power everything over here at the same time. This will be on a 2-tick delay, and this is going to be on a 2-tick delay. So we would probably want to add a delay here and maybe a delay up there. Now let's just leave it at 2. It should be okay. Okay, so yellow circuit now. Some redstone there. Yeah. It's such a waste of space, don't you think? I mean, we can kind of make it look, you know, make it look nice by doing that. Just make it look like it needs to be like that, but it doesn't need to be like that. Maybe make it look pretty. Make it look pretty. I think I like there better, and then we can just put this on 4 delay. And that's that. We could, to save some signal strength there, do that. I'm actually surprised this works so flawlessly. I mean, it's perfect like this. I just think that this is possible to reset it, so we're going to have to check it. I do think we're going to end up with the other one, but let's check it. So, instant extension should be fine, but when this is powered, it is going to bud this, which is probably going to prevent this from being activated. So it worked. It still did it. It still did its thing. Oh, that's even better. It just looks like something special's going on there, huh? Yeah. Relatively simple. Yeah, I thought since that was there, I was like, why don't I have this button on the side? You know? It's like, doesn't make any sense. You know, you should have it here. I should be using one of those with a piston. But there'd be no reason to. Honestly. You just want to send the power back into this area. It should be relatively easy. Let's see here. If I wanted to have the button in the same area, let's go ahead and pick, I'm going to say I like the purple, the royal color. Okay. Purple, or we could use the magic button with the piston here. It shouldn't even get updated because there's no power over here. So we could technically have it like that or something, but you see through. Yeah. I think going with like a torch. Or maybe even like this torch. Yeah, that would work too. Wouldn't even need to do anything, just basically have that there. And when you get in, because I mean, all that stuff's designed so it'd be underneath so you won't see it. So, I mean, I don't know. I think I'd like that better just because it's in the same location. Yeah, it works. Okay, so we got a working patch, and I think I could just basically do a video and copy what we have here onto that. But it works it works awesome on the, yeah, it works awesome on the latest edition, honestly. So something else I thought was, you know, putting it there isn't possible to match that, but having the button here is possible. Yeah, if I strip this thing down to its base, we could actually make it much smaller. But it is designed to be the way that it is for a reason, so I think we should be okay. This is actually the same world I did the tutorial on, so nobody really liked it. So, hey, what's up there? I did not see your comment. Is it Ballant? Ballant? Probably butchering that. Okay, so we're done for today. I will probably do something tomorrow. So we have decided to basically make the version 5 multiple floor elevator extinct, and to concentrate our efforts on the newest multiple floor, which is the version 9. The version 3 does still work and is the one that you would want to actually use, and I'm going to be changing that. I do need to transfer it though. I need to transfer that to the newest map. I actually wonder if you guys know about that or not, the tool to transfer. I mean, if you're just transferring one thing, it's okay. But I can put it on the Windows 10 version and show people that version. Actually, did I say version 3? It's actually version 6 elevator still works. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you like this. And you guys have a good evening.